The way they edited Britney's story. This is so problematic. To make her out to be someone who is confused about her sexuality. I don't understand. I don't understand.
VBS, I just turn the water on. Big old flex, shit you never saw before. These niggas chasing me like waterfalls. Keeping on my lip, truck look like bricks.
What's up, guys? It's your sister, Jessie Woo. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, make sure that you subscribe. So you can join the Black Women's Tribe during Black History, Black Women's Month, okay? Y'all see the title. We're going to get into a couple things. How you doing? Now, my last Love is Blind video was blocked, taken down, and in order to get it put back up, YouTube removed about 23 minutes from that video. So if you're watching it now, I feel like the way they cut my video up, there's a lot of context missing. And so Chris Colleen with your raggedy ass, I know you were behind this. Oh, I know Chris Colleen's raggedy ass was behind this because you just raggedy. But it's cool because guess what? I can always upload a new video. And I'm actually happy that you did do that because now I get to focus on two major issues, right? So they cut out a lot of my commentary on Britney. And I want to take this opportunity to talk about why I think Chris Colleen's raggedy ass decided to have that removed from the video. I don't think that I violated YouTube's fair use. I always make sure that when I use a clip, it's less than 10 seconds, the most 10 seconds. And there are other creators on here, bigger creators than me, who get hundreds of thousands of views on their Love is Blind content. And most of their videos is clips. Like, they don't even come on camera and do the commentary. They just have clips playing the entire time and they're doing voiceovers here and there. So I'm like, not y'all doing this to me during Black History, Black Women's Month. Not y'all attacking a Black creator during these Black History Month periodically times. Okay? I don't give a damn what Chris Colleen told y'all down to YouTube. Okay? No. That is not right. I see people making the commentary with longer clips and they do not get taken down like the way I did. So anyway, I want to first and foremost focus on Britney and Devin, okay? So going back, I feel that my Britney commentary was deleted because it's another instance of what I've been talking about for years, of how dangerous Love is Blind is to Black women, okay? This is season 8. And although Britney is the first time that we've seen, you know, a woman come on here and talk about having experiences with other women.
I've had a few experiences throughout my life.
I bet you by golly, wow, that Britney is not the first person to have these types of discussions in the pods. Statistics show us that most women have had experiences with other women, sexually or romantically, okay? And so I am willing to bet one of my titties that Britney did not make Black history during Black Women's Black History Month as the first Black women's or women's ever to go on this platform and talk about having experiences with other women. I wholeheartedly believe with my entire coochie that Chris Colleen used Britney's words against her and pivoted her storyline, manipulated her storyline for us to look at her as if she was a gay, maybe bisexual, maybe fluid person who is confused about her sexuality. When she's in the pods with Devin, you have Devin who comes forward and tells her, and he told this to Virginia about his basketball career falling flat because he had this injury. And then he goes on to talk about, having an ibuprofen addiction. And as I stated before in my last video, I went to the School of Journalism and Communications at FIU. I did not go to the School of Ibuprofen. So I've never heard of anybody having ibuprofen addictions. So shout out to Devin for letting us know that. But how the hell do you get addicted to ibuprofen? I'm sorry. Like, that is something I've never heard of, okay? But also, let me say this. Is it me, or I don't know if other races do this, but why is it that whenever a black man gets injured and he can no longer play football, he can no longer play basketball, why is that reason for him to want to delete himself? I don't understand. I don't understand. Like, I want black men freed from the shackles of basketball and football is your only way out and is your only thing that you can hold on to have a better life. And if you're not able to do that, then you just gotta die? Just die?
Byron, I love her.
Die! Just die!
Like, what is this? I want black men really freed from this, okay? But anyway, he tells her about her addiction. And then, so that was his way of dropping a bomb on her. So then she drops her bomb. And she's like, yo, I have had, experiences with women. And the way they pitch her story, it just gives that, okay, my sister is going through some sort of confusion. And I'm just gonna go ahead and play back what my video originally had, but I'm gonna do it in sound form so you all can get the gist of the conversation.
I've had a few experiences throughout my life, and the last experience that I just had just opened my eyes up to other possibilities as well. And granted, I've never seen myself dating or like being with a woman seriously. The young lady that I was with, she can see that. She's like, I thought, we may be married. But for me, it's just like, I don't see what you see, girl, And she's like, you're an awesome person. Like, I know that I can be with you. And I'm like, I know that you're an awesome person, but I don't know if that's me marrying a female. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, my vision of myself being married with a man, this is what I envision my life being.
Okay, so is she gay?
This is what I want. So
she was saying she was ready to be with you, but you didn't see it.
Exactly.
You had the one experience?
I've had a few experiences.
Bisexual.
But never have I felt like I want to marry or be with any,
Fluid.
You don't see marriage with a woman, you see it with a man.
Yes, for me.
At least she's monogamous.
Do you feel like you still have interest in women or no?
I think that people are beautiful all together, right? Like, after going through this experience,
Fluid.
I realized that it's really just about the person that I connect with and the person that I'm with and trust to love me through it all.
Okay, is she coming out? Is this her Diana Ross moment? Yes, Britney. Yes. But girl, wait. What does that mean for Devin?
You have the attraction to the woman. I don't know if you're saying that you're not interested anymore. I don't know if you is that how you're feeling? Like you're not interested in women anymore, or do you feel like you still are?
No, I feel like the person that I'm with is the person that I'm with. I've always been monogamous, right?
Okay.
So whoever I'm with, that's who I'm with.
So if you're a viewer, right, is it me, or as a viewer, as you're listening to Britney's story, it's given, I don't like men's no more, I like women.
I don't like men no more. I said I like women. Women.
It's given my sister has been delivered. So for me, watching this, I feel happy for her because she's having like a coming out experience. And again, this might be just her coming out on this show. Who knows what her conversations have been with her family and her friends and her close ones. But again, as a viewer of the show, when they show you Britney's conversations with Devin, she talks about growing up in a very strict household. Christianity was like everything. She wasn't allowed to listen to secular music. Her mother was very strict with her. Her mother didn't allow her to play sports because she didn't want her to dress like a boy. She said all these things. She even said that her mom wouldn't want her to cheer, I believe, because she didn't want her wearing short skirts. Her mother sheltered her a lot and kept her away from a lot of experiences. And so now as an adult, she's having to basically find herself. And as a viewer who's listening to her and really registering everything she's saying, I'm thinking, wow, this is a woman who was Christianity. Is that a word? Christianity?
No, it's not.
That's
It's not a word. No, it's not.
You sure?
I said it's not a word.
She was Christianly conditioned. Okay, we just gonna coin that phrase. She was Christianly conditioned to believe that marriage is between a man and a woman. Okay, and as a Christian, I will tell you, I believe that per my Christianity, per my belief in Jesus Christ and God the Father, marriage is between a man and a woman. However, per my Christianity and my belief in Jesus Christ and God the Father, I also believe that we should allow folks to have free will. That is something that God gave us. And Jesus's greatest commandment was what? To love thy neighbor. So it don't matter what thy neighbor chooses to do in their romantic life. I, as a Christian, am here to love you through it. Yes, if she's a friend of mine, yes, you know what the Bible says, But if you choose to go against what the Bible says, that is your choice. I'm not here to condemn you. I'm not here to, oh, she gay, she fluid. That's not my business. That's not my business. That's not my role as a Christian. My role as a Christian is to love you, pray for you, and let God have his way with you in your life. Point blank, period. That's where I stand with that. And again, I feel that Christians, especially Christians who are first testimony focused Christians.
First Testament. We've had this discussion already. First Testament.
First Testament.
Right.
First Testament focused Christians.
Exactly.
They are really stuck on condemnation and they pick and choose what sexual immorality is because, let's just be for real, I'm Christian and I've been fucking. I've been having sex. I'm fucking.
So we're going to wrap up this conversation
so
right
that
here.
is adultery.
We're going to wrap up.
Sexually immoral. That is. Wait, hold on. Adultery is when you sleep with somebody else's wife, right?
We're going to wrap up this
Or
conversation.
somebody's husband, right?
I said,
So what is it called when
wrap
you
it
have-
up. Wrap it up. Wrap it up.
Lord. What was I saying? Okay, so as a viewer, them showcasing this particular conversation between Devin and Britney, right? And then turning around and having Britney come back in the pods and speak to Devin, and you have her basically telling him that she is undecisive.
I am a very indecisive person.
Yeah.
It's just really, really confusing.
Then you have Devin saying, you know, well, is it because of your experience with other women? Is your experience with other women why you feel you're indecisive? And then her basically saying, you're not my person. We're not each other's person.
You know, we're not each other's person.
No, I get it.
This is so problematic. The way they edited Britney's story to make her out to be someone who is confused about her sexuality, and that reason being why she's indecisive and chose to step away with Devin, is an attack on Black women. I really want you to understand that. And it's not lost on me that they did this on the DEI rollback version of Love is Blind during Black History, Black Women's Month. Okay? That was racist to me. It was racist, and also I feel that it was homophobic because the LGBTQ community, QI plus, one thing a lot of people don't understand is that you can be bisexual and be monogamous. You can be fluid and be monogamous. Okay? You can be gay and be monogamous. A lot of people think that gay people just be out in the streets fucking area. That's not the case. You can be part of that community and be monogamous. And let's just keep it a buck. Heterosexuals are not monogamous as they should be. They're not monogamous as everybody would like to sit here and think that heterosexual people are just holier than that. We see what the hell is going on. We see the Nick Cannons of the world. We see the Elon Musties of the world. Okay? All right? So this whole monogamous thing is not something that's exclusive to heterosexual people. Okay? So to pitch her story and to edit her story in this way, knowing that Britney got engaged to another black man on this show. Britney and Mo got engaged. So y'all chose to give us Madison, Mason, Meg, and Alex, which we're going to get to in a moment because according to the streets of Minnesota, he's a predator. Allegedly. This is all alleged. Instead of showing us this circle, this of love triangle between, you had Devin, Brittany, and Mo, and then Virginia in the, in the outer parts, y'all decided to give us these white folks over here. And then Chris Colleen is going to want you to believe that, oh, the cast itself. The people cast themselves. Whoever ends up with whoever, that's who we follow. That's not fucking true. That's not true. Y'all are boring us to death with Tarzan and Jane, who are sitting around talking about things like communal socks, sharing socks. But you thought that that was better than showing us Brittany getting engaged to another black man, and you wanted us to basically believe that she is confused about her sexuality. That is homophobic, it is racist, and it is yet another attack on black women during Black History, Black Women's Month. And I'm never going to stop using my platform to tell y'all how racist Love is Blind is. Never going to stop. Never gonna stop telling y'all how racist this man is. Because this is what he chose to do. Chris Colleen, raggedy ass, chose to tell us that Brittany is a confused lesbian. That's what he chose to do with this girl storyline. Let's move on. Also in the video that Chris Colleen's raggedy ass got YouTube to take down, I talked about Alex, right? So we saw the whole breakup between Alex and Madison, which was weird. You had Madison who broke things off with Mason, and then you had Alex, after she told Alex, yeah, I broke things off with him, you're my number one, he starts windmilling and saying, well, I sort of agree with Mason being confused, and, I get his point of view is valid. And you have Madison telling him, yo, I broke things off with this man. I don't want to talk about it anymore. But he still keeps talking about it. She gets upset. And he's like, let's move on. Let's move on. We got a free trip to catch. He starts talking about, we got a free trip, the free honeymoon. And she's like, yeah, I don't think I could do a honeymoon with a man who's making me feel as if my feelings are not valid. And you're out here windmilling for this man that I dumped to be with you. Right? And so because of that, he breaks up with her. And when you look, it's so funny because people online are really like singing his praises. But if you really take a look at it, it was so weird for this man to windmill for another man to the girl who chose him instead of that other man. Like, make that make sense to me. I thought it was so weird, and I remember watching it with Mr. Easter, and Mr. Easter was like, yeah, this is weird. This is weird as hell. But then lo and behold and lo, Alex, who says that he was bullied because he was unattractive when he was in grade school. Mind you, not much has changed, Alex. You are very much still very unattractive. And according to the Minnesota streets, you are actually allegedly, this is all alleged, a predator.
It's been brought to my attention. I did find this article on stylecaster.com. A lot of news outlets are staying away from this, and I think it's because people are still doing their research. But this article here is based on Reddit threads that have existed far before Alex was casted for this show. And they bring up alleged stories and alleged allegations of him having inappropriate relationship with minors. So this would make Love is Blind a third time that they've had a predator on here. Remember, there is the SA lawsuit from, I believe, season 3. We had Liler last year, who was clearly a love scammer / romance predator, basically. And then you have this. So if these allegations are proven to be right, this could mean extreme trouble for this show.
Now, if you look through the internet, Alex is getting a lot of good press. Alex just did the VA files. But Love is Blind knows that this man is being called out by women online for being a predator. And they do not care. And they do not care. Okay? So I definitely wanted to bring that back up, so that you guys know what is happening. And last on the docket is Mr. Maga. Okay, so you have Susan B. Anthony and Mr. Maga. Remember, this man said he never voted. Susan B. Anthony was annoyed by that. Yet when he proposed to her, she accepted. Remember also, she asked him about BLM issues. And this man says, I choose to stay out of it. Despite all that, he proposed to her, she accepted, okay? Which is why I'm calling her Susan B. Anthony. Because one thing about white women, social issues or being tied to white male privilege, which one do you think they're going to go with? Take a guess. Take a wild guess. Okay? So while she was in the pods standing on business about BLM, George Floyd, and Mr. Maga continuously told her, yeah, I ain't never voted, you know, I don't really care, it doesn't affect me because he's white. That is the meaning of white privilege, right? Is you ain't even gotta vote. Because no matter how the vote turns out, you gonna be good. Hey, whoa. Because you're a white man. So it don't matter. It don't matter. You're still going to be good. And she still accepted his proposal. Because at the end of the day, what's better than standing up for social justices and equal rights for black people? You know what's better than that? Being married to Maga. Being married to Maga, Susan B. Anthony, okay? The white folks want you to believe that Susan B. Anthony was out here fighting for women's rights during Black Women's Rights, Black Women's Month, during Black History, Black Women's Month. Susan B. Anthony was only fighting for voting rights for white women, not black women, okay? Okay? So Sarah, I have to dub you Susan B. Anthony, okay? Point blank, period. Now, with that being said, before the season even aired, Mr. Maga, Ben, was already being talked about in these TikTok streets. Let's take a listen.
So someone just leaked to me some of the photos of the cast of the new season of Love is Blind that they're filming here in Minneapolis. And like I knew when I heard that they were filming here, in my stomach that I would recognize some of the names on that list. And I would have some information on those boys. Because you know what? Minneapolis is a big city, small town sort of vibe where everyone knows each other. And the dating pool here is very, very small. So if you've messed up, someone's going to know about it. And I'm not sure how much I can say about it, but I am going to say that I'm just exhausted and tired of society rewarding shitty men who treat women terribly and manipulate and lie all the time. They are horrible people, and they will do anything to get what they want and to get attention. And I get that that is like the whole point of reality television, and that's the reason that they're on that show, right? To make good entertainment. But maybe we can just not reward people who are like that, who have harmed people in their past. And I know this is a vast overreaction, and unfortunately, probably for legal reasons, I shouldn't say exactly who it is. But I will not be watching the Minneapolis season because that shit just makes me sick to my stomach to see someone who's willing to like lie to people about wanting to get married just to be on television and get exposure and be a heartthrob. I don't know. I'll probably take this down by tomorrow. This feels stupid coming forward like this. Like, this is what reality television is supposed to be, right? Horrible people.
She posted this March the 2nd, 2024. Okay? I want y'all to see the date. March 2nd, 2024. Okay? And she started going viral right as the season was about to premiere. So she really had like nothing to gain from this. Literally. I think this is another post that she posted too.
So here's an update on the boy I know who's currently filming the next season of Love is Blind here in Minneapolis, who shouldn't be on the show, one, because he's not on it for the right reasons, and two, because he's just a terrible person. For so many years, I just saw him and his friends treating women like they were just entirely disposable objects, like just like garbage. And they all clearly thought it was hilarious because even one night when they were all drinking, like they posted a photo up on their story saying like, oh, if so-and-so has ever like done whatever to you, like swipe up and respond, as if like it was just hilarious how many women could respond about all like the horrible things this man has done to them in this city. And I've just tried to be amicable with all of them to avoid drama, but at this point, seeing that like he might be out there like on a national scale harming other people, I've had enough of it. So because I wanted to be sure that was him in the photo, I blocked him on everywhere except for one specific platform, and what do you know, after I upload that video, I get a little ding, he's blocked me, so that confirms that it was him in the photo. The photos that were shared in that one women's Facebook group that people may or may not know about. So one, I don't really want to get into a whole big legal thing about this, so for legal reasons, this is all just my opinion, right? But also, I just want everyone to be on alert because two, I believe that once this show airs, or maybe like when more photos come out about this, the girlies will be able to sniff out who the man we shouldn't trust is here. The one who used to have a YouTube channel and all sorts of videos and a very different looking Instagram that all got wiped and cleaned up conveniently before he applied to go on this show. One who other girls have already said, is he the one that got posted in that Facebook group? Because if so, the stories. So... And two, unless other girls also decide to like come forward with stories, maybe it was just me, you know, maybe he just decided to treat me like human garbage. I was very young, I was new to the college campus, he was a whole lot older, and that really shaped like the way I viewed men and dating going forward in a very formative experience. I don't want to get too deep into the details because that stuff doesn't matter, but I did try and like talk to him vaguely about it afterwards, and he was like, I have no idea what you're talking about, like none of this stuff ever happened. And I was just like, you really have no idea what that did to me. Like, he was really one of the first boys to open up my eyes and make me realize, oh, you actually shouldn't always believe boys when they tell you things. Because sometimes they will say and do absolutely anything to manipulate people. And out of respect, I'm not going to share direct DMs and like intimate details of his life because I also shared intimate details of my life with him that I would really not love to see blasted publicly. I don't want to turn this into a whole big war thing. I just want to alert the girlies to be on alert, and that's it for me.
So when she posted this, a lot of the Minneapolis girls were already in her comments saying Ben, Ben, Ben. So even if you look up her video on TikTok, if you put Ben, Love is Blind, and her name, it comes up because so many people were saying Ben, Ben, Ben. Other girls who had had horrible experiences with this man were in her comment section saying this. So then she did this final video.
Some of them, and I've heard horrible stories about other ones. But I also already know how some of the storylines end, so let's talk about it today. Because Netflix didn't consider that if you pick some of the most narcissistic men who will do anything for fame, that the second they walk off that set, regardless of if you made them sign an NDA or not, they're gonna head straight back to the bars and start bragging about everything that happened behind the scenes. But for starters, shame on you, Netflix. I was not planning on talking about any of this because I was hoping that after all of those women, including myself, came forward about that horrific man, you would have the sense to write write him off of the show. But apparently instead you just privated all of his social accounts, wiped them all clean again, and then relaunched them. As if we all wouldn't notice. If you're not already familiar, I'll tag it, but I made a video talking about this man when all this information leaked last year. And it sounds like he went on to treat this woman on the show exactly as we all would have expected. And I'm even more disappointed to see that it looks like Netflix is well aware that they're exposing these women to horrific men. But anyways, I met this man when I was decently young and brand new to campus here at the University of Minnesota. And he is one of the first men who taught me not to trust men when they tell you who they are. But that's a story for another day. I saw him go around for years treating women on that campus like they were objects and completely disposable, even to the point where one night I remember his friend group posted a joke about it up on their stories. So they knew, and I responded, joking along, but also like trying to call them out, and they never got it. Because they think it's funny to treat women this way. But this man was really well known on campus, specifically for that, but also he was like the MVP of the baseball team. We all thought he was going to get drafted, and he was going to do anything for fame, in my opinion. He had a YouTube channel. He was constantly going around telling people to follow his IG. This man loved attention, but then he didn't get drafted. What was the backup plan? I guess he became a realtor and then moved out to Los Angeles to try and become famous there on his parents' dime. But that didn't work out either, so he moved back, and I guess he applied to Love is Blind, trying again. But again, if you ask me, I would have never guessed that he was on that show to get married. And what happened? The second he got off the show, he went back to those bars, probably the college bars he hung around for way too long, and started telling people exactly what happened on the show. Now, this is just what I was told by someone who claimed to run into him, but apparently he ends up getting engaged to one of the girls, right? And then he's back in our hometown filming. And that's when everyone saw him filming, and all the girls in this city started coming forward with their horror stories about him. And thank goodness, as one of my original intentions was, that information got to her, and that made her hesitant. And from what I was told in his words, apparently he described her as being mean because of all of that. So his plan was to go all the way to the altar and then say no to her in front of everyone. But unfortunately, the pastor guy asked her first and she said no. So now he's back in the city, going around the bars, hitting on girls as always. And to all the women sharing all their stories about him and the other men on this season, I want to let you know that I see you and I hear you. Your stories are not mine to share, but I am so sorry that you had to go through any of this. And that Netflix thinks it's okay to keep platforming these men. Really difficult morning for the women here in Minneapolis as we had to wake up and see some of the worst men in our city have been cast on this season of Love is Blind. Unfortunately, not only do I know some of them, and I've heard
So basically, this girl is saying that it was a scheme that Ben set up to come on this show and basically act like he really wanted to get married just for the clout, just for the social clout of it, so he can go back to Minneapolis and continue to do whatever it is that she doesn't want to share with us that he's doing for legal reasons. I get you, Audra. I get it. However, if you or anybody else wants to share their stories, I'm your girl. Please email me at jessacouplethingspod@gmail.com. Okay? Come share your story. But from what she says is that basically Susan B. Anthony tells him no at the altar, but he was the one who wanted to say no to her at the altar, and it doesn't work out that way. So I guess we'll just have to stay tuned and see what happens. But it basically looks like, I don't want to call this man a predator because she's not saying anything, but it's clear he's not a good guy. Alex is definitely not a good guy. And they basically called Britney gay. They called her a confused gay. Basically, they basically called Britney a confused gay woman on this season of Love is Blind, okay? This is literally not only giving DEI rollbacks, but it's giving homophobic, it's giving anti-black women, it's giving... Trust me, I'm still doing my research. And if it comes back, I'm dragging Chris, Colleen. Well, you always gonna get dragged. But I'm gonna drag you and Chelsea by your greasy haired follicles, all right? Drop in the comments, let me know your thoughts on this video, and I will see y'all in the next Love is Blind episode reviews. I am currently watching the next 3 episodes, so I'll try to have them all up by the end of this week. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care of yourselves and each other. Bye.
VVS, I just turn the water on, big ol' flex.